Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. David is back again, yet with another video. And today I am going to be reading the 13th Cat, still on chapter 6. This is quite a long chapter, so I'm going to read a little bit of it. Let me see, maybe I can actually finish it. Let me see. I could try to see what I could do. So, hope you guys will enjoy watching, and please hit that subscribe button, like, share with your family and friends. Tell them to please subscribe to me. It would be much appreciated. If you can, please watch some of my older videos if you want to. Well, anyways, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I'm gonna start reading now. Hi guys, I'm back. So let's start. Someone had come to the house and frightened the cats away. Lila, it must be Lila. She hadn't gone to the house. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. She hadn't gone to the library after all. I ran to let her in before the cats came back, but it wasn't Lila's smiling face I saw. But before I could slam the door shut, Miss Dupree pushed me aside and stormed into the living room. She looked scarier than ever. Her hair had escaped the bun and straggled over her shoulders. Her black and red striped dress was wrinkled, and her matching scarf was untied. I backed away from her, both terrified and angry. "Get out of here! You can't just barge into my aunt's house. I'll call the police." I grabbed my phone, but before I could touch the keypad, Mr. Dupree knocked it out of my hand. We were face to face now, close enough to me to smell the musty odor of unwashed skin and hair. "I've come for 13. The sooner you hand her over, the sooner I'll be gone. She's not here," I lied. "And Alice gave her to a friend who wanted a cat." Miss Dupree curled her lip the way a dog does when it's about to bite. "Don't lie to me. Fetch 13. Now." I flinched and took another step backward. "I can't give you what I don't have." Turning to the open door, Mr. Dupree called, "Number 1, come, my dear. I need your help." The white Persian ran into the house. "Find 13, Mr. Dupree said. "Bring her to me. I'm fed up with this girl's lies and thievery." Number 1 ran straight into the kitchen, desperate to protect Nia. I forgot my fear, ran after her. "She's gone?" I cried. "She's not here." I waved my arms. "Scat! Scat!" Ignoring me, the white cat crouched down and crept toward the cabin in the corner. She moved her nose under it, but she was too big to wedge herself into the small space. Her bushy tail whipped back and forth. She growled. Her teeth chattered like Suki's when she watched birds fly past the window. "Get away from her." I shoved her with my foot, and she yowled at me. "Don't you dare kick my cat." Mr. Dupree pushed me so hard I fell over a chair and landed on the floor. Dropping to her knees beside number 1, Miss Dupree reached under the cabinet and fumbled about in the darkness. Her fingernails clicked across the floor like claws. "She's close," Miss Dupree snarled. "I smell her. Where have you hidden her?" "I already told you." My voice shook with fear. "My aunt gave her away." Miss Dupree got up slowly, as if her knees hurt. "All right, Zoe," she wheezed. "You might think you fooled me, but I'm much smarter than you realize. You won't trick me again. I want that cat, and I'll get her. You'll see." Her voice trailed off in a fit of coughing, and she leaned against the table for a moment before heading for the door. Number 1 hissed at me and followed Miss Dupree outside. I slammed the door behind them and made sure to turn the bolt. Nia, I called. Where are you? Nothing moved in the shadows under the cabinet, but I heard a faint scrabbling sound coming from inside. I opened the door and Nia trotted out. She looked very proud of herself. Rising on her haunches, she touched my face gently with her paw and began to purr. I held her close and pressed my face against her soft black fur. How did you get inside that cabinet? Did you learn magic from Miss Dupree? She looked at me with her big, round eyes and purred louder. Maybe she really had picked up a few tricks from Miss Dupree. But then she squirmed out of my arms and walked off to use her litter box. She's just a cat, I thought, but a very smart one. By the time Aunt Alice came home, I decided not to tell her about Mr. Dupree's visit. This time she should really go straight next door and make a scene of some kind. If she made Miss Dupree mad, there was no telling what the witch would do. But I texted Lila every detail ended with, "You're so right. Witch for real. Scared. Come over tomorrow." The next morning, I followed Aunt Alice to the porch and asked for a hug before she left for work. After my third meeting with Miss Dupree, I was kind of clingy, scared too. What if she came back today and did something worse? "Look," Aunt Alice said, "the cats are gone." I stared at the fence. Not a cat in sight. "Where are they?" Aunt Alice smiled. "Maybe they finally found somewhere else to go." Giving me another big hug, she said, "You and Lila have a nice day." I sat on the railing and watched her walk away. Up the street, a man mowed his lawn. Two women jogged by. Across the street, a UPS truck stopped, and the driver left an Amazon box on someone's porch. A dog barked. Such a normal street, such an ordinary morning. It was amazing how little people knew about their own neighborhood and the people who lived near them. While I waited for Lila, I worried about Miss Dupree's threat to make me sorry. Sooner or later, she'd move against me. I didn't know what she'd do or when she'd do it, but I was sure witches didn't make idle threats. Something bad was going to happen. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon. I felt it coming. Lila called to me, and I looked up to see her running across the street. She flopped into the swing beside me. Where are the cats? It was so weird not to see them lined up on the fence like Halloween. I don't know. I looked around, but they weren't in sight. "They could be anywhere," Lila said, "like under the porch right now, listening to everything we say, or up on the roof, or who knows where. They're a witch's cats, after all." Nia meowed, and Lila turned to see her at the window. Jumping out of the swing, she pressed her nose against the screen. "Hi, Nia. I'm Leah, Zoe's friend. You're the prettiest cat I ever saw." Okay. Even if you did belong to a witch, which is totally not your fault. Nia rubbed her side against the screen and purred. Lila grinned at me. "She likes me." "That's because we're friends." Lila sat down beside me again and the swing swayed. "I'm sorry I wasn't home yesterday to help you. I can't imagine that woman in my house," she shuddered. "Oh, it makes my skin crawl to think of it. I wish you'd been here. Poor Nia and I were so scared." Lila looked me in the eye. "But you believe she's a witch now, right?" "It's the only explanation." She got down on her knees and sniffled under the cupboard like an animal. She smelled Nia. It was gross. "Why did you open the door?" "I thought it was you." Lila rocked the swing and bit her fingernails. "Did you tell your aunt?" "Not this time. I don't want her to go over there and make a scene and get cursed or something." "Yeah, I can see your aunt doing that. She's pretty feisty." Lila gnawed at her thumb. "Are you still scared?" "Well, yeah, sort of. I have this feeling Something bad is going to happen, like a dark cloud hanging over me. Do you know what I mean? Lila nodded. I get in those moods too, but most of the time, nothing happens. I've never had one like this. A little silence fell down. We swayed back and forth, barely moving. We just didn't have the energy to send the swing flying. I heard footsteps coming toward the house, fearing it was Miss Dupree. I looked up quickly. Lila, I whispered. Who's that? A young woman strolled toward us. Her hair was long and blonde, silvery in the sunlight. She wore black slacks and a gauzy, low-cut black tunic. Her high-heeled sandals were red. The leather purse slung over her shoulder was also red, and the large drawing portfolio under the arm was black. What was someone like her doing in Bexhill? She belonged with the fashionable women in New York, the ones who walked as if they owned the city. To my surprise, she stopped and smiled. Hello, she called. I don't believe I've met you. Met either of you. I'm Zlata Delgada, your neighbor, Miss Dupree, is my beloved aunt. We stared at her speechless. How could such a beautiful young woman be Miss Dupree's niece? May I join you for a moment? Her slight accent made her all the more glamorous. I nodded, amazed that someone so glamorous would want to sit on a porch with Lila and me. You must be Zoe, she said to me. My aunt has told me about you and the girl next door. She turned to ask Lila her name, leaving me to worry about what Miss Dupree had told Miss Delgada. I couldn't have been anything good, that was for sure. For the first time since I'd met her, Lila seemed unsure of herself. She murmured her name in such low voice that Miss Delgada asked her to stay again. I'm happy to meet you girls. She took a seat in the swing between Lila and me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video today, or maybe post another one. And make sure to subscribe. Thank you.